Hello and welcome to the Ups and Downs podcast, this time featuring a little game of Foot Champs in the background just because it's some pretty good filler. I realised last week I wasn't exactly showing anything in the background, so fuck it. I'm going to start by introducing people one by one. Everyone say hello. Callum.
Hi.
Well done. Cameron.
Yes, now, my guys.
Oh. Andrew.
Grazie ragazzi.
Harry.
Ayo.
And me, Joe. So we'll start on what this podcast is technically about. So how was the football last week?
Was there football last week? I forgot.
Football? What's football?
Yeah, I think Man City played really well against Liverpool, and that's the only game we need to talk about.
It did, but there's a slightly more relevant to us pair
Didn't
of
Chelsea
matches.
lose like 3-0 to someone?
3. Thanks. 3-1, wasn't it, to West Ham?
3-2.
3-2.
Anyway, the
Close to
actual Leeds matches we sort of need to talk about.
Saturday were good. That's the only game we played, didn't it? Saturday against Fulham.
Saturday against Fulham. That was a pretty nice one, to be honest. I enjoyed that.
I don't remember any other game being played.
Yeah, we'll actually start with Fulham because that one we didn't despise the result of. But even then, in the first half, we weren't looking very good, were we?
No.
I think it was they came with a game plan and we didn't.
I felt we were too patterned and scripted in first half, and then in second half I don't think he expected us to take Bamford off, and that kind of fucked with his script. So it was like, yeah.
No, let's not give Scott Parker any credit for believing in patterned and scripted, shall we? Please.
His magic ball couldn't predict the greatness of Bielsa in his second half tactics, and Pablo Hernandez, who deserves all the credit in the world if we go up this season.
Whenever I refer to that goal that he got the assist for, I'm still referring to it as a Pablo Hernandez goal. Even though it...
Oh, the through ball.
Yeah, the through ball, that shit was naughty. It made me happy in some very nice ways. Oh,
I think.
Fuck. Sorry, I've just seen the first thing.
I think you said it in the Luton game whilst we were watching that.
Yes.
That he seems to play the difficult balls really, really damn well, but the simpler balls seem to be the odd misplaced pass. Those are the ones that seem to go through. I think it might have been Harry instead you that said it. Then.
I don't think it was me.
I'm watching him for my dissertation.
Yeah.
Let me have a look at his stats for a few games.
Right. Okay, he's immediately made a sub. I might be fucked.
Hey.
I might be Grealished.
Full focus.
It makes a load of passes, but like...
He doesn't want us swearing, and he goes effing and jeffing.
I'm sorry. Everyone. From now on, everyone's allowed one.
Yeah. Fucking idiot.
Wait, what?
Well, there's yours.
Cameron's already used it. Not Cameron Callum. Wait, what's the level that we're going to here for the one?
You can go as far as F.
Okay, so no Grealish.
No Grealish, no.
Okay.
So F, S, the small C.
The small C, yeah.
Small C?
The small C? Crap.
I assume that's what he's on about.
Yeah.
More of a curly kid, that.
Wait, what were you?
How are you doing a degree?
No. Never mind.
Anyway, so we did fairly good work at Fulham. Well, at Elland Road against Fulham, but then we come to Luton. I think the whole thing started falling apart when Coops got injured. From that point, I had a bit of a oh no feeling.
I think it just that sort of made everyone else move position or like that. I think that's what gave them their goal.
Yeah.
If Coop was there, Ben White would have less pressure on him. Therefore, he'd be able to go into the challenge with what's his name?
I don't know.
It's hard for them. I can't remember his name.
Harry Conn.
Yeah, he'd be able to go into that challenge knowing that Coop was behind him, able to sort of mop up that. Whereas he didn't have any cover there.
Yeah.
So he had to stand off.
His cover was at that point, what, Ailing?
I think they were trying to play 3 at the back with Ailing
They had two
out
up
wide.
top, didn't they?
Yeah. But he
Yeah.
left White vulnerable at that point, I think.
Basically, if we're playing with 3 centre-backs, but 2 of them are Ailing and Phillips, we're probably not in the best of shapes. Who knows, we might have even had Dallas at centre-back. But he
It
isn't
did feel
one.
like they were playing like I know they weren't playing 5 at the back, but it felt like they were playing 5 at the back for the majority of that game.
Oh yeah, they were playing really defensively, which is the way that you beat this Leeds side.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a little bit worried for
It
when
was
it
annoying.
comes to playing against actual good football teams now, because they could just do the same thing.
But they'd be able to attack in a better way as well.
I think also the injury to Dallas sort of was a game changer as well.
Wasn't that quite late though?
Although what?
Fuck. Yeah, that was quite late, wasn't it?
I can't remember. I thought it was quite early because I thought that's what brought Alioski on. it
No,
brought
Dallas.
Shackleton on right at the end, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Dallas was on,
Sorry.
like, basically to the end. He scored for us.
But I thought it was. Oh yeah, it was. I'm getting games mixed up here. I was thinking it was Alioski.
Oh, right, okay.
I was mixing the full Alioski goal up with that one.
Yeah.
But I reckon that could be a big blow for the rest of the season if Dallas is out for a long time.
Yeah. Especially since a 2-week injury is now, like, 4 matches out, maybe 5, rather than 1 or 2, which it was beforehand.
Yeah.
So, other than completely fucked, I feel like we weren't bad creatively in that match.
Just see we can't finish them. Not naming names.
Look,
It's not.
look.
No. It's all about the lights.
If we turn the lights off, A, the referee won't be able to see that they scored. B, I don't know. I don't know if Pat can see in the dark. He can't see in the light, so he might just be nocturnal.
When I looked at it, it just sort of looked like it dipped. When I first saw it, it looked like it dipped sort of before him and then.
Yeah, I thought he got unlucky with the flight of it, rather than anything else.
Well, then Costa with the exact same thing. You're just like, we have to be doing better than that. It's 2 like identical chances with 2 different strikers. And neither of them gets on the end of the ball. So it just makes you think, what are we doing?
It was the only person in this call who has actually scored a goal in front of the cop. I can confirm that.
I'm sorry. No. This is story time. What?
No, it's not a goal in front of the cop.
I've scored in front of the cop.
Is this you scored in?
Imaginary goal in front of the cop.
Is this you scored a goal in front of the cop in the same way that I performed at the O2 Arena?
No, it's not even that.
Oh,
No,
right,
he was on the pitch. I can clarify.
Yeah, he was on the pitch, but was there an actual goal there? No,
Yeah.
there wasn't.
The goal was there. The ball came in.
Was there an actual ball?
No, but that's besides
Right.
the point. I've scored in front of the
I
cop.
think that's the main
Were
point.
it me that took con?
I think it were
It would.
No
Maradona.
way did
Anyway,
Maradona finally gets to lead.
as all I'm saying is I'm not buying the lights getting in the way because the West Stand is massive. Like it's at least like
At least
40,
quite
how
big.
high is it? 40? I don't. It's big enough to the point that if a ball is getting in the way, or the lights are being obstructed by a ball coming in, then the ball is dropped from the International Space Station, not coming from a shit wing or be signed from fucking Wolves. There's my one gone. I said 2 then, didn't I? Anyway, like it's not. It just doesn't make. I don't know.
No one needing pass level maths.
The Bamford's just a different story. Anyway, that's. I'm not buying the light excuse. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I mean, the fact it happened to 2 of them makes me think that's a little bit more reasonable. If it only happened to Bamford, I'd be like, you Tory prick, we're not all idiots down here. But the fact it happened to Costa too makes me feel like maybe.
I think they've both gone up to each other during game and gone.
That was the
Should we
light,
say
yeah?
what lights?
Yeah, okay.
should say lights.
Yeah, fine.
And then
I think you're giving them too much credit.
I'll mention the next point. I don't
Yes.
like the way that this is phrased, that you've put. Are we still happy in thinking we'll go up?
Yeah.
I don't like the phrasing of that.
Why?
I think we're in for a shout.
We're in for more of a shout. More than a shout.
I feel
but
okay with it, but I know there's people in this chat that will probably still scream at the idea of promotion.
Like, before I say, "Oh, we're gonna go up," I want to say, "We are up."
What now?
I want to be mathematically impossible for Brentford or West Brom to catch us. Whoever's in third.
Oh, I thought you were saying right now that we're already up, and I was a bit like, that's jumping the gun a little bit, innit?
No. I want it to be
Lewis.
mathematically impossible for us not to go up before I say, "Oh, we're gonna go up. We're in Premier League. Yeah, we're going to Premier League."
I don't know if it comes down to like 1 point in it, then I'll be like, I think we might be up here.
Oh yeah, 1 point in it
Kimpembe.
with like 3 games to go, maybe yeah. But then,
But at
it's
this
the fact
point,
that
6.6 matches.
6.6 matches, that can be gone in 2. That's the scary bit.
Yeah.
I don't like.
There's one.
Can I be brutal?
Go on.
I was going to. No, you go ahead first.
No. Go on. I insist.
Right, we're not going up. I've decided it's not happening.
You've
Right,
decided.
it's over. Pack the bags. It's done. It's done out here. I don't right because.
Wait, pack
4
what
points from
bags? We're
3
not
games.
going up, so we're not going anywhere.
Well, I'm moving to a different city, supporting a different team. That's the bags I'm packing.
Oh,
But
right, okay.
4 points, 3 games, yeah. So if we continue that over the 3 games, which isn't impossible, because all people using as a counter argument to the games we're about to play is the form table. I'd like to remind everybody, the form table started in March. We're in. I nearly swore again then, but we're in July now, so the form means nothing, because 3 games isn't enough to resemble actual form, which again works against the Leeds point. But still, the fact that Blackburn, who else have we got? Swansea coming up, and Stoke are all like proper bottom of the form table means nothing because we can't get results against anyone at the moment. But if we get 12 points from 9 games, that's 2 points better off than last season, and that's still nowhere near good enough.
12 points from 9 games.
There's 6 games.
Yeah,
No, I
but
think
if
it's
including the
the
4 points we've got,
Yeah.
Oh, right,
4, and then if we do 4, 8, 12,
eight
then
more
we've got-
points, that'd put us to 83.
And that's. But then you only need Brentford to drop 4. Which I don't know.
But Brentford are going to ever lose? Like, this is my concern. Brentford look unstoppable.
I reckon Brentford are going to
Penalty.
drop points.
There we go. Penref 1-0. Don't comment on how I scored it, please.
Oh, you're a bad person.
I'm sorry.
So we've got Blackburn, who are
Seems
10th.
like fool.
I reckon. I don't want to speak.
Go on.
Thank you. Please don't. I don't like where this conversation's going.
No.
I just fear that after Cardiff and who did Luton? I keep forgetting. Cardiff and Luton, all teams are going to do now is just put 11 men behind the ball, and we can't stop it.
Yeah, but
We've got no way around it.
clubs can't do that because the teams that we are playing are fighting for things.
Well, Jamie Shackleton said today, everyone's fighting for summer. Luton are fighting for survival. Cardiff are in the playoffs now, and they did it, and it worked.
They're in the playoffs because it worked.
Exactly. They got the 3 points. They've now leapfrogged
5 teams.
Swansea,
5,
Preston.
6
Somehow, oh god damn you, playoffs, not again. But
No, we're
But
not fucking
it's
about
just-
with them. It's fine.
sorry, Angus.
Finishing
I reckon if we do get to playoffs,
Oh,
Angus
shit.
will like just pull the team out of the playoffs. No, we'll stay down.
Oh, lag. Come on.
But yeah, that's my only concern. I think people are more aware of it now compared to like Adam Forshaw saying we're gonna romp this division, a man who can't walk. But
I still think he's dead. I don't think he's alive.
it was just a transcript. They used a Ouija board to get that message off Adam. That's how they got it. They must have mistranslated it. But I think it's much more open than 13 points is kind of demonstrating. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you mean by the
My
bump
feeling
of
at
it
this point is as much as we are fucking it at the moment, sorry, not at the second. What am I on? As much as we seem to be fucking it at the second, West Brom are doing the same. and we only need to beat one of Brentford and Fulham. Not Brentford and Fulham, Brentford and West Brom. And if we can't do that, we don't deserve to go up.
Don't say that. Because now we won't go up.
Yeah, what do you mean by the Bamford of it all?
It was going to be a point where we talk about our favourite number 9, but we've sort of covered him. So it's up to people if they have any more comments on fucking Pat, or... Oh, yeah, sorry, dropped another one. No one gets any freebies, though.
I believe you can keep Pat in the squad.
Yep.
Keep him as your number 9. He's been your number 9 throughout all the season. Like, you can't just drop him. Like, look, that's going to absolutely shatter his confidence. And it's like, I don't care what
There we go.
Finn Allen, who lives 2 minutes from Ellen Road, thinks about
Oh,
Pat's finishing
what the
night. There's a reason why you're sat eagerly anticipating pubs to reopen tomorrow, and Pat's worth £7 million. Like,
He'll be in the pub at 6 a.m.
Like, yeah, he doesn't score every opportunity, but he brings more than just scoring opportunities for the club. You look and he's got like, he averages like 3.4 shots a game or something, but I think we've got about 7 or 8 like attacking players in the starting 11 who average more than a shot a game. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's like averaging over a shot a game, which is not just on Pat to score. Just sees your so-called out-and-out number 9 doesn't mean he has to score every single goal for this club. Your goals are going to come from elsewhere.
Oh, no.
I saw something about, I think on Facebook, saying that he has the most
Missed
goal
chances, I
involvement
think.
for Leeds. No,
Oh, sorry.
no, he has the most goal involvement for. No,
Come on.
he has the most goal involvement for Leeds this season. But then it's followed up by everyone saying, "Yeah, he's the number 9. He should." Not necessarily, because you will have goal involvements from the assists to him, sort of thing. He's still showing that he's doing the work, being top of goal involvement for the club.
Yeah, like, the fact that he's everywhere means that sometimes he can't just be in that one location. And as much as it is frustrating seeing him not be the best finisher that we've got, I would put him up there with Pablo for best playmaker that we've got. Just because so much hinges around his movement.
I feel like you have a problem with Bamford, you need to have a problem with kind of everybody forward at Calvin Phillips, because the attacking side to this team is good. The finishing isn't anywhere near as good as the rest of the team is playing. Like, the defence, how many shots have we conceded since, like... I mean, did Luton have 1 shot on target, or am I imagining that?
They had 3 in total.
Yeah,
the one that
it
went
was
in.
And they had 1 shot on target that went in. Like, the back line, Calvin's been class, but everybody kind of forwarded that in terms of how the Bielsa style works with the triangles and working it forward has seen somewhat of a drop off. And I mean, like, everybody from Click, who, you know, last season he had 10 goals, 10 assists, he's down to 4 in 4. Harrison's had a step in performance, but, you know, he's kind of doing the wing work. He's not the men in the middle. And like, I've still got images of Harrison missing somewhat easy chances in my head as much as I do Bamford, but nobody ever
No
is
one
screaming
points
over
him out,
Harrison
yeah.
because he
That's
got a good
because
first touch and puts the wonder ball.
People will say, "Yeah, but he's a winger. He's not meant to score him. He's meant to put the chance on the plate for Bamford." That's
Exactly, yeah.
what people say, and it's you can't go around like that. You should have contributions all across the field.
I think it might be a bit extreme what I'm saying here, but if you've got a problem with Bamford, you have a problem with
Bielsa.
everyone. Yeah, Bielsa,
Yeah.
not only Bielsa, but like Bielsa says, it's the whole group. So the 20 players that now will play, well, have an opportunity to be in the matchday squad, all kind of have a big influence on Bamford. So you could say that they are also to blame rather than just going, "Oh, we drew 1-1 at Luton, Bamford's fault, we didn't score." But end of the day, there is 20 players in the matchday squad who can all have an influence on the final outcome of the game.
I think it's just people on Facebook managed to find a scapegoat.
Oh
that
yeah,
they can
well it's
all
like
get
when
behind.
KP made a mistake at Cardiff, they won't blame their mother, but I think I read a stat like we have had 40 crosses in past 2 games or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I've looked at like stats analysts and that, and it doesn't say how many of them have been completed, but you can't just have a go at Bamford for not. Oh yeah, we've had 40 shots, 12 on target, scored 1. I feel like that's in the past Cardiff and Luton games. I think Bamford had 4 against Luton. So I know that's out of. Let me just get these stats up just to so that they're all really.
You sound a hell of a lot clearer wherever you are right now.
Probably right next to his mic.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, because I'm actually at my computer looking. Let's have a look. So Luton, we had 23 shots. I think 3 of them Bamford, 3 of them Alioski, 3 of them Roberts, 3 Costa, 4 Dallas. So of them 23, Bamford's got that less than about. He's taken about an eighth of the total shots we've had. That are just rough estimation. And it's like, yeah, we've scored 1 goal, but if you look at Bamford's shots to goal ratio, it's a lot higher than other people. But could we blame that on the wingers who are, or the other playmakers in the squad who aren't giving him chances which he necessarily finds simple?
Yeah.
I think it's a thing of we're trying to get too close to goal. I think, like, we've seen through like other weeks where Aliens took a shot from 20 yards out and it's gone in. We just need to take more risks like that rather than just trying to get right into the box and stuff. But then someone else that I was speaking to about it then said, but now that Alien's got this confidence, he's taking them shots and it's not paying off. Like the one at Luton against Luton, sorry.
Yeah.
Where he's taking a shot from 25 yards out and it's just dribbled to keeper, rather than seeing the option of someone else within space. I think it's a fine line of what too much work is.
Well, when you like watching plays like Costa does like to take it to the byline. Like he does a lot of extra work to take it to the byline, and you'll notice that he'll do some skills that might take the ball out of play. Like against Huddersfield, if you watch him, there's like this fancy trickery, but then the ball goes out of play because he's done too much. But this is what I like. Yeah, so we had 40 crosses against Luton. Like majority coming from the wide areas.
That is what a cross
Harrison
is.
with 7.
Yeah.
But like, look at that. Like, corners, we just shit it. KP, I think shouldn't be on corners.
I think he has got the best delivery for a right footer.
I just don't think it's like looking here. Harrison took 7 crosses, 2 were blocked, and didn't say how many of the 40 were completed or successful. But if you're having 40 crosses a game, and we've not technically scored from a cross, have we? That's by Alioski. Something needs to work on the delivery of the cross. Because we are undoubtedly getting men forward in the box, but like, I'm looking here like Harrison took a corner at 53rd minute and it's gone to other side at 18-yard box. Like, what's that all about?
Yeah. When you take a cross, you're not taking it to one person waiting in the box. There's always going to be a few people that can receive the ball, and if no one's receiving it, then that's not a single person's fault.
I feel like we are just sort of we're not getting enough men into the box for crosses.
Yeah.
You'll look at it and you'll see just Bamford alone in the box, and then people slowly arriving in there, but it's not enough for the sort of breaks that we want to play.
Maybe we just need a set-piece coach again, who knows. On the subject of backroom staff, and I've been hearing a hell of a lot of discussions about Costa and Bamford and Harrison, all of those were Orta signings, and Orta has been linked with going elsewhere. So this is going to be a little segment. Victor Orta, do people like him? How do we feel about his signings in general? Would you want to keep him?
He's got a real sort of 50-50 with his signings, hasn't he? Like he's come up with some great signings like White, what a signing, Harrison, I'd say Costa as well. But then when he first came in, he had signings like Cameron's favourite player, Lawrence DeBot.
Man, Lawrence.
He also had
International player, just saying.
Wazim Boy.
Wait, hang on. Just to quickly
Is he
check,
not a signing?
who's Boy played for internationally? Is he Belgian?
Moroccan,
No,
isn't it?
yeah, Morocco.
Is he?
Yeah.
I was gonna
I don't
say.
think he's actually played. I don't think he's actually played like international first team.
Oh, just an
He
international
might play,
team.
like, 21.
He's good friends with Paul Pogba. That's going to count.
Oh yeah, that counts. No, wait, was that Boy or was that? Oh yeah, sorry. Oh, I was
Oh, have we
confusing him
also
for.
seen that Bobby Cam was signed a contract till
Yeah.
2022 today?
Right. I'm gonna make an argument for Orta right now because I know a lot of people are like he made a hell of a lot of bad signings early on. If you look at the current squad, there are so many players in there that are from Victor Orta's reign, and even the manager, he was suggested by Orta, I think.
Yeah. The current squad we've got now. You've got keeper.
Orta.
No, I'm going through the squad about who he's the starting 11.
Yes.
So we've got Melier, then not Alien, not Cooper, White.
Yeah.
Click.
Yeah, it was there.
Christensen.
Yeah, no, but that's when Otto was still at the club, though, wasn't it?
It's that weird period
you've
that
got
is. Go on.
Harrison and Helder.
Yep.
But then again, you've got Bamford, so that's 6. 6 out of the starting 11.
You also named a 10-man sheet, and Roberts was an outside.
Things I feel
No,
like
no, because Cameron skipped Hernandez in that. So I would have included Hernandez rather than Roberts.
I feel like with Bielsa, with a coach who's more like, I'd say, not like someone with a bit more reputation, someone that you've got to be like these are your transfer targets. Who do you want? Rather than someone who like Christensen who goes, yeah, I'm going to get Caleb Ekiban. He scored so many goals in the Albanian National League. Christensen will probably go, oh yeah, we'll sign him, but Bielsa will be like, no, like. He has done better now. He's got like more structure in the head coach role.
Yeah, I feel like in the past his job was to fill out the squad, and now it's no, we need good players. We don't just need some players. And
if you think you say his signings at 50-50, but he has done a lot of good work with under 23s, like bringing in
Paveda is one of them.
Focus.
Yeah, didn't he say that he's not that when he first joined the Warren under 20 in like an academy setup, but it wasn't great, and now he's actually focusing on that to improve it with like Stevens.
We had the set with like Shackleton and Clark and Gotts and stuff, but I don't think there was much beyond that. Whereas now they've got like Bobby Cameron, as I said, they've got Liam McCarron.
McCarron, yeah. McKinstry as well.
McKinstry, yeah.
Stevens.
So I think it's just sort of ensuring that the club has the potential, not only to sort of develop in the future, but also make money. As sad as it sounds, make money from these players.
Yeah.
Cause it's true, they're not all going to be first team players at any point. Like,
but I want to say, I reckon there are a fair few decent players in that 23 side that will be first team players.
Yeah.
Like I reckon next year or year after, Bogish has to start playing more in first team.
I think it depends. If we don't go up this year, I reckon the 23s will heavily influence next year.
Yeah,
I reckon
definitely.
Bielsa will go, Phillips will, a lot of main players will go, won't they?
Yeah.
We won't have much money because of like
I think we'll have quite a lot of money if all those players go, because the contracts that they signed at the start of this season were.
Oh, Joe. Oh.
yeah, I know.
Seen who scored that goal.
Wait, was that for you, or was that for them?
That was for them.
Oh, thank God.
I'm not going to hire him.
To make a case for Orta as well, though, I feel like a lot of the problems that have come from certain transfers within the club, like for the past few years, relate more to the finance side of things, rather than the players themselves, like having such big contributions of wage budget towards certain players, and even deals that kind of haven't really worked out have somewhat been influenced and we'll get onto this with the Jean-Kevin case in terms of the strikers this season, how much of the money on the financial side of it has been used towards those, like the Eddie Nketiah and Kevin. I'm just gonna call him Eddie and Kev, rather than us going, okay, they weren't good players. They were good players. They did well in our team. They did well for us. Well, one of them did. The other one was a Frenchman.
They just weren't Bielsa players.
They just, yeah, and the fact that a significant wage contribution was coming out of that more relies to the fact that we've got Pat Bamford on so much money a week, we've got Kiko Casilla on so much money a week, and he's working on, I think, such a tight budget. Like, what was our net spend in the transfer window just gone?
Than what we're getting.
Yeah, but we sold a lot of players and then we only loaned players.
Yeah, no, but there's still a lot of loss in the club because you got to think you're tied into liabilities now in terms of the Costa deal.
Yeah, it was
if
all.
We can't get out of this, if we can't get out of this Kevin deal, that's hefty amount of expenditure. If we can't get out of this, we're gonna buy Harrison more than likely for 8 million. That's another large amount of expense.
And with the Kiko problem.
Yep, Kiko again. So that's a lot of money coming out that we still have to sort of put money aside for. So it's more thinking about it like that, where you've got to keep money to side for these sort of incoming transactions.
Yeah. Once Bielsa's come in, I've never had a problem with the players he brought in. I have had more of a problem with what we're spending to bring them in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's more of my concern. But I always think of Otto just as like a man playing Football Manager. I just think he just goes through his database, gets his Y Scout up, and just goes. He looks like an absolute god, even though he's had one Belgian international cap, or he's got a 3-barrel name called J. Roy Grot. Like, he just doesn't care. He wants to get the player. He goes and gets it. And it's funny watching him scream in the stands. It always brings a smile to my face.
Joe, I just want to bring it back to what you just said then.
Which bit?
You said these players that we're signing are not Bielsa players,
Yes.
like Augustin and not Eddie. Sorry. I wouldn't say they're not Bielsa players. I think it's more of a case of we have alternatives that are from within the club.
Yeah.
So I think he's more wanting to develop them, work with them, rather than work with an Arsenal player or work with a Leipzig player that we might not see in the future.
Even
I think his entire philosophy is consistency, and you can't really do that with loans without a vision to buy.
even
Like,
Kev the Big.
To buy Eddie. Yeah, but he was injured the full
Yeah,
time.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like even.
So, not that they weren't a Bielsa player. It was the fact that circumstances meant that he couldn't come into the squad.
Yeah. And a lot of it will be.
And when he was fit, Bamford hit form.
And a lot of it will be the pre-season thing. Like, if you don't have a pre-season under Bielsa, you're not going to be anywhere.
Yeah, because they thought that this coming to this sort of restart was Kev's pre-season, and then he gets injured again.
Yeah.
Kev's just circumstance, I think, that's not him not getting in. It's just unfortunate that he's been injured every time he's been on the fringe of the squad.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
We signed Eddie in that first. Different gravy.
So we've done Orta.
Yes. Wait, hang on.
Now it's time for...
We'll quickly run through a vote actually on Orta. Do we want to keep him?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I think he brings more continuity.
Yeah, I've got a soft spot for him, even if he doesn't like me, Dad.
Now, if he's here, we should have a question
From Callum.
Ratchet 105.
Okay, day.
What? Hold on, I'm lagging a bit. I genuinely didn't hear
My
you.
question.
Yes.
How the fuck does the whole Champions League and Europa League work?
Okay, so that's your naughty Grealish for the podcast. No, you already have it. You little prick.
What?
Red card, get him out.
Um,
So you've done like 5 of them.
It's fine. It's my podcast.
I'm trying to think. So your Champions League, it essentially there's an allocation of each league across Europe will have an allocation for a number of teams that can enter the Champions League. It is essentially the top teams in Europe all going through a group competition to a knockout competition to see the best team in the continent.
Okay.
Right? Good start.
Yeah.
Anyone? Help.
That's fine. Yeah, keep going.
Yep. So that is the start of the Champions League. After the group stages, the top 2 of each group. Each groups of 4.
So kind
So
of
the
like
top
how
2
the
of
World
each
Cup
group.
works for the group stages.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the top 2 of each group.
No, hang on. Just quickly, it's like a big European World Cup. Does that help?
No, because I'm now going to go on to the Europa League and it doesn't help.
Ah, fuck, never mind then.
That don't know.
So the top 2 of each group will proceed through to the knockout stage. I think it's 16 teams that go through, or 32 teams that go through, or something like that.
16.
16. So then the bottom 2 of each group will then go into the Europa League knockout stage.
Okay. That's why
But-
only
No, it's only
one.
bottom. It's only third place.
It's only
Third
third
place
place.
gets
Sorry.
it.
Is
Third
that
place
why?
gets
Is that why only one team from Prem goes to Europa
it.
while
No,
4
no.
got the group stages in?
That's because the Europa League has a lot more clubs from like smaller national leagues. Like it's got more
Gibraltar.
clubs representing Lithuania,
Scotland.
Gibraltar, Scotland,
Scum.
Belarus, and all these other countries.
Yeah.
Manchester.
Shut
You
up.
be careful about what you say.
But then
about
they go. There's a qualification stage for the Europa League
Yeah.
where sort of teams will have to go through knockout matches and stuff. That will then get to the normal Europa League bracket, where that essentially runs like the Champions League, where you've got groups and then knockouts. So after the group stages of that, the teams that got knocked out, the third place teams in each of the groups in the Champions League, will head into the Europa League for that knockout section
Yeah.
and join the rest of the teams that made it through the groups in the Europa League.
Okay.
They
So
will-
it's kind of like a consolation prize for those who
Yeah.
didn't make it that through into
So
the.
they'll
Okay.
get through to the finals, blah blah. Each team will go through knockouts to get to the finals. At the end of the season or start of the next season, I can't remember which one. You will have the European Super Cup, which is
Start of the next
winner
season.
of the winner of the Europa League will play the winner of the Champions League. It should really be the winner of the Champions League should win because it's the more prestigious tournament. But it's sort of essentially it's to find the best in Europe.
Oh, okay. And I assume like the team who wins gets like a monetary bonus.
Oh, I can't say one word again, but tons.
Okay. So is that so? I'm getting so that's why like a lot of Premiership teams really care about being in the Champions League.
It's also the fact that you sort of. I'm more thinking about it here as it's a business perspective because you will sort of show your brand to so many more people.
Fame,
the world,
fortune, and
because-
glory, basically.
As I saw in this video, if the World Cup final is not that year, the Champions League final is the biggest watched match in the world.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's massive.
Is it most watched sporting event as a general thing? Or would Cricket World Cup come ahead because India, Pakistan?
Oh yeah, what's the same for
I'd-
WrestleMania?
It's hard. Because then you're sort of saying, is that over 4 years bigger than the Olympics and the World Cup?
Oh yeah, shit, I forgot about Olympics as well. Anyway, Callum, has
Olympics
that
was-
adequately answered your question?
Yeah,
There
it's
we go.
basically like it's like a mini World Cup where you get tons of money for winning.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the most watched sport event was, that was the World Cup in 2019.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that was a fairly
So
good
most watched sport in the world.
teaching Callum football. From now on, I think if you do keep the questions quiet, so we've got to like think of on the spot responses, I think that works quite well. But yeah,
Yeah.
So, the Champions League in 2018 the final in Kiev was watched by 380 million people around the world.
Jesus.
Wait, was that the Spurs Liverpool one, or was that the Real Madrid Liverpool one?
No, that was
the Salah one,
Real
wasn't it?
Liverpool. That was Salah.
Where Salah got executed by Ramos. Yeah.
Ramos. Yeah. But you saw, but you compare that. That's 380 million people around the world watching that one match. The Super Bowl, 102 million people.
That's the entirety of America, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's like
that's where
two
it gets
Americas are watching the Super Europe.
Well, 300 people live in America, so it's like if everyone in America watched the Super Bowl. That's the Champions League.
That stressed me out.
Slow.
Can we move on, please? Can someone else lead this bit?
Lead what bit? Sorry.
This is the end
We're in
of.
transfers now.
That is the end of my question.
Right.
I am satisfied with the answer.
We are on to transfer rumours. We've learned quite a bit this week. Sorry, it's hard to concentrate whilst I've got some wonderful delay going. We learned a bit about what's going on with Big Kev, or did we?
We didn't.
Are we stuck with him?
Leipzig think we are.
Yes.
We think we're not.
It all comes down to the contracts, which is pretty much only known at the moment by Leeds United and RB Leipzig. The only way Leeds have a loophole around it is if certain dates have been included, because of course with the extension of the season. However, if the contract is liquid tight, which it is in the case of Helder Costa, then it only comes down to one factor, which will be if Leeds go up, you have to pay this fee. If Leeds don't go up, you don't have to pay this fee. However, the one saving grace we have is Fat Kev himself, because there is apparently, and this is I've looked everywhere for this because God knows I don't want him, but there might be an alibi within the contract, which is if Big Kevin says he doesn't want to go.
Alibi. Jesus, you're just throwing legal words, aren't you?
Means?
Do I know what an alibi is?
Yeah.
Of course not. So
it's that TV channel with all crime shows on.
yeah, Midsummer Murders, big fan. Now, basically, if Big Kev goes, I don't want the move, then he might be able to overrule Leipzig. However, in the modern football market, I highly doubt that's the case. If Leeds go up and there's no loophole around dates or anything like that, then it is pretty much a done deal. However, if there are loophole with the dates, then there's a very good chance that Leeds United will take this league because I don't think they want him at the moment.
It must be so demoralising as a player.
Oh yeah, no one wanting you.
We want to sell you, but they don't want to buy you, so you're just going to be stuck in purgatory at the minute. So do that what you will.
I'm
We'll see you in 6 months, Kev.
I'm gonna put forward the argument: would it be so bad if we ended up with him? Because as much as we've not seen much of him, that was an unfit Kev, and he's been spending ages getting fit. Combined with the fact that this is basically the equivalent of buying a player in the summer transfer market that you've just not loaned before. It's just buying a player.
I think it's the point that, because I remember reading saying that there was something that wasn't picked up on his medical, so they'd want to sort of. I think he's too injury prone for what Leeds want.
Yeah. So like he couldn't do a season of Bielsa ball in the Premier League.
It seems just all really too messy.
Yeah.
My question is, if the club were so serious about being like he's going to be here next season, then why would they? Yeah, but then there's of course the concern with club finances, because apparently he was on 930,000 euros a week.
So
93, I assume.
No, 930. Jesus Christ, I'm having a mess.
You mean 93?
93,000 euros a week is apparently what it was on, and again it was never disclosed. But Leeds will have been paying for a player that caliber, of course, a hefty amount of that contract. So if he's not gonna stand the chance of getting on the pitch, then it's quite understandable from a financial standpoint of why you don't bring this guy in, especially if you don't go up, because then you've just had a player draining what could be upwards of £70,000 a week for absolutely no value other than he's going to go back to Leipzig and rot away there. So
Jovic, you prick.
Even if we don't then sign Kev, we're still going to have to sign a striker
Yeah.
because we can't just have Bamford up top on his own in the Premier League, where the defence is going to be much tighter to him than they were in Championship, and he's not going to get any breathing room for like his hold-up play that we all know.
Shay Adams, anybody? Smells good right now to me.
Yeah.
Don't know about anyone else.
Apparently, they
feel like-
were on about trying to get rid of him as well, Southampton.
I feel like if you buy a striker, you just back to square one. Right. I feel
Yeah.
like if we are to get Kev, we are in a better position because he knows what Bielsa's like, and we've seen what like players are like after the first.
I think he more knows what Rob Price is like.
Other than
Harsh.
Kiko,
Who?
we've kind of
Is it though?
Kiko's kind of had a
No,
Oh,
bit of
Kiko.
second season.
Joe saying that I'm harsh for saying that he knows Rob Price more than Bielsa.
No, but I get you.
What were you saying, Harry? Sorry.
Something about Kiko. Hello.
Yeah, because Kiko's like kind of had a poor second series and like goals he's letting, and then most other players that we've signed in first season, Bielsa, your Irish have been better in the second season.
Yeah. I'm not sure about Kev.
Let's focus on getting up first, and then we'll focus on what we do with.
I think the
with Kev.
whole thing is the finance behind the deal, with it being like a club record signing as well, and he's not played in how long? Over a year.
Well, he's played a bit. He got half an hour at some point.
He's played like 20 minutes.
It's like
over
48
the
minutes,
year.
I think. He's I think the worst or the third worst rated player who scored.
We all know that's not the important player rating system here.
So you've got Pascal Stewart, Jordan Stevens, and Big Kev.
I can just imagine WhoScored.com saying Big Kev.
As if I have F12 or F11.
That does mean he is below a literal racist stand, as Facebook would have you believe, the worst player in the world. So that's saying a lot, to be fair.
Even Jack Clark's higher rated.
He's a
Oh.
diamond of Yorkshire.
Who's our best players on WhoScored.com?
Alien, Calvin, Pablo.
Yeah, never doubted them lot.
I don't know. I thought
Ben
Dallas
White.
would be in there.
Ben White's fourth. Speaking
See,
of Ben White,
he's terrible. He's terrible. Let us keep him. Awful. Not even top three.
Speaking of Ben White, what would all of your valuations of Ben White be?
Please don't leave.
What would
Please
you
don't
believe?
leave.
How much did Neymar go for?
Fucking 200 million.
Yeah, double that, and then I think we're looking at that kind of range.
Okay then, as a serious thing for Leeds, how much would you be happy for Leeds to sort of be paying a ballpark figure for him?
30 mil.
32
30
million.
Honestly, given today's transfer day and age, probably about 30 million, but I feel like spending that much on one player could be quite detrimental.
Yeah, but
especially
he's
if you're getting
such a
someone
good
like Kev
player,
like
man.
TV.
He's good.
Especially with the club only just going up, and we have already allocated so much of our promotion
Exactly.
money.
I think
I've seen things of 20 million. I've seen things of 30, 40, even 40 million. But it's
I don't think 40 million.
I think like 40 million for a player like Ben White, where he's 22.
20, not many.
You know, he's
It's-
younger than me and
it's
Joe
just-
since like 21.
Not sustainable for a club to sort of spend 40 million on a player at 21, where he's not proven at that level.
I don't know, because,
Like,
I
you
mean,
can say, yeah, he's a great defender in the Championship, but does he have like the sort of ability and strength behind him to sort of battle with the Premier League players?
I don't know.
If you look as well, like when Villa went up, they signed Tyrone Mings for what was it, 15 million,
Like 25.
and was it 25? So I feel like that's very much the ballpark you're looking in, and probably upwards
thought
because Ben White
He's already
is younger.
at
Better.
Aston Villa.
No, it was at Bournemouth and when they went up there.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
So I think you're looking at least in that ball range, so probably upwards of 30 million, in my estimation.
That ball
For
range.
bidding war starts as well, with big clubs. So, however, we are in a beneficial spot compared to the clubs because we have had that kid donate some of his pocket money. So we've already got somewhat of a financial start towards Ben White compared to everybody else. £14.60, I believe it was. So
We've already got a bid of £14.
we are very much in the running. At the moment, we've got Ben White signed, so that's the way I'm figuring it.
We're the only club with a bid in.
Liverpool knock on his door.
We're the only club that's reported to have a bid in, so...
I thought that I read that sort of Brighton had told Liverpool, if you want him, he's yours for X amount of money, and I can't remember how much money.
Nah, they're lying.
I thought that was funny. I just don't see him staying at, where is he, Brighton?
Oh, there's no way he stays at Brighton.
No. Because he just it's not good enough for his quality.
I was really confident at one point that Brighton might go down. And that it gives him. But I feel like that's not going to happen now.
You say that? Oh no, wait, they're 6 points off Villa.
Yeah.
Villa turned up to absolute Grealish, so they've just set Grealishes and ruined our chances. But what can you do?
And it happens to them the other way around. They don't beat the bigger club.
But speaking of Ben White, someone's put about Lucas Martinez Quatara?
I did. I had a quick Google for some transfer rumours earlier. And this guy looks alright. Apparently he has various big clubs sniffing around him, like Liverpool. Which isn't one of those things that's incredibly promising. But he looks really good. I think it's River Plate he plays for. And I think the number being bandied around was something along the lines of 9 million or something like that. Cheaper than Ben White, and he might be good at football. Anyone else had a chance to look into him? Or...
You said 9 million.
Oh, was I wrong?
Yeah.
How wrong?
So this article that you've put in the thing says Brighton have put 35 million on Ben White. The Buenos Aires side has reportedly put 25 million euros, 22.5 million pounds on this guy's head.
Well, you know what? 9.25, same sort of ballpark.
It's really not, though, is it?
Shut up.
It's not known whether Leeds would try and sign Martinez Quataro. Were they to
Quarter, not Quataro.
Quarter. I don't care. Yeah, he says that they're unlikely to sign him if they're not knowing whether they're going to sign him if we get White.
But that's the big if here, isn't it?
But in that same article,
yes,
and also in our list, is Eva Buendia.
Emmy Buendia.
Emmy Buendia.
You're having a shocker, you and Cameron. Golly.
I talked about Champions League for half an hour, just shut up.
Mine are numbers, his are words, we're struggling, but we'll get through it.
So does anyone want to talk about Emiliano Buendia?
Don't know who that is.
I think Cameron's the one that pointed it out. If I remember.
Yeah, he's basically to put it in layman's terms, he's a Pablo Hernandez ex-player, plays in kind of 10 role, very, very attacking, was really impressive when they played against Leeds. He's also, quite coincidentally, from has the club Cultural Leonese within his playing history. He was one of their big stars that somehow slipped through our fingers, but ended up what was literally a promotion rival a few years ago. But
was he at Norwich when they went up?
Yes.
Okay.
So he's become kind of a staple of their team, and I feel like it is very much a deal based around if they go down, which is almost when they go down. Yeah, sorry, but if we got up, then I think this move becomes incredibly likely. 23 years old, and he's impressive. He's very. I feel like he's the Pablo replacement. Not to say he's the level of Pablo, but he's that kind of role, fills the gaps, wants to get things going, and can hit the ball over the top. I think if we go up, I'd take all the players we've got at the moment, and then a guy like this, just because he's that caliber of player.
He's like Pablo if Pablo had working legs and was a decade younger.
Exactly. To put it in simple terms.
I think he's been one of their sole good performers this year.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it's between him and Cantwell.
Yeah, and again, Cantwell I can't really see staying if they do go down.
Oh, he's one of the ones that are gonna piss off immediately.
Yeah.
There's gonna be such a flood of players leaving the Premier League clubs, well, Championship clubs, that we've got to pick something, and Wendy is good.
Talking about floods of players leaving the club.
Oh no.
The transfer window has already opened for German clubs apparently, with Sane leaving Man City to go to Bayern Munich. I had a couple of questions regarding this for everyone.
Go on.
Is that a bargain? Is that a bargain for Bayern Munich?
Yeah.
How much?
Leroy Sane deal.
54 million, is it? Yeah.
54 million with a 10% selling clause.
Mane is one of the
Sane.
Sane, I also know that name as well, is one of the few people who I know the name of, so therefore he must be good.
He's 24, 25, so he's going to have a long career ahead of him, hopefully. And he's good.
I
But
think.
then I also had a follow-up. Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
No, because mine's a separate bit on that.
Okay. I think this is a little bit of all of Man City's chickens coming home to roost. The fact that they've bought the best wingers in the world for the past few years was always going to end in, we've got too many wingers, we've only got 2 wings.
Yeah.
And it looks like Sane was the one that fell by the wayside, and he's a very good player entering his prime. And they're going to lose him for a lot less than he's worth. Also, slightly unrelated, but did you see that Man United think Sancho is only worth 50 million? That's the cap they're willing to put on him, apparently.
You might cut out, but he's 50 million?
Sancho is... No, 50. That's how much Man United 50. Want to bid for him.
I think he could be one of the best. I don't want to say this and then go, oh yeah, he's so good. I think he could be one of the best players in the world in a few years' time.
Oh, between him and Alexander-Arnold and Foden, like, I feel like we might have a major tournament there.
But I think that's what's put Sane on the block for playtime at City, is the fact that Foden has come through so well. Like, without Foden, Sane's got a spot in that team any day of the week. But with it being a homegrown player as well, I think we kind of got to use Foden.
Yeah, especially when their entire team is, we got beat by these guys in the Champions League, let's buy their best player so it doesn't happen again. In the case of Mahrez, it was Premier League, but you get the gist.
Then my follow-up question was, if theoretically going on with Man City and they do get banned from European competition, you're going to say they're going to go to Top Body Bar, but saying they do get banned from European competitions, how many more players can we see leaving Man City?
There's already questions being raised to the striker situation.
Yeah.
I know that Gabriel Jesus has been offered. I don't know if he's been offered, or there's been rumours apparently that a few big outlets in terms of Inter Milan are currently going sniffing, and you've got to kind of think as well with them getting rid of Sane and going, right, these are linked to the future. You've also got to make that decision with a striker, mainly because it's pissing off in fantasy how Pep keeps changing striker every week. I don't know whether I can start Captain Aguero, but
yeah,
it's a real question. I feel like defensive wise they won't be letting many players go, but of course the big question is that generic middle at Park is by far the best player in this division in my opinion, in De Bruyne.
Yeah, the big question is, why the hell would De Bruyne stay if they can't play European competition. Because
I'm guessing you just saw that, Andrew, yeah?
yeah,
Yeah.
because there's literally no reason for De Bruyne to stay at Man City if he's not sort of getting European football, because he has won it all apart from the Champions League. So it's just a no-brainer to me that he would leave. But the amount of money that someone's going to have to pay for Kevin De Bruyne.
Well, let's say I know what 54 million. You never know.
De Bruyne is just a packet of crisps and a free lift later on down the line.
If you'd like to think.
Yeah.
Maybe we can use that 14 quid for Kevin De Bruyne rather than Ben White. Have to get in contact with that kid and see if he'd be up for that transfer instead.
So now someone's put Danny Loader.
Yeah.
That's over.
Oh, was it Reading that he came from? It's a fellow Championship side, but the fact that I recognise the name of a fellow Championship player tells me that he's either decent or a massive shithouse. I recognise him in the good way. He's run out of contract. I don't know if he renewed for the end of the season, but either way, he's not renewed it for next year.
England under 20 forward. He's held talks with Portuguese side Vitória, who are among teams looking at him when he leaves Reading at the end of the month. Palace and Leeds are also monitoring him. A monitored teammates of. Oh, he's saying that he's a teammate of Foden and Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, he's looked good. Whenever I've seen him, I had a look at, and I know that you shouldn't do this, YouTube compilations, and he didn't look. he looked okay at football.
Victor.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Using that same judgment, I've decided that Lawrence de Bock is a better footballer than Andy Robertson.
Correct. I'm glad you've seen the live.
Yeah. So we had Danny Loader, so he's under 20s, one for the future if we were to sign him. One that's interested me that on this list is John Swift from Reading or QPR?
QPR,
Reading.
I think. Reading? Yeah. Is that because you saw him in the FIFA team of the season, so you assume he's a good footballer?
No, as in I've seen the praise that has been sung from
FIFA.
Reading fans, by Reading fans online by him, saying that he's literally the only player that has done anything for them, like we were saying about Buendia for Norwich. But the fact that this article that you put in, it's HITC.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There weren't a huge amount of.
Honestly, we are linked with Jonathan Swift every. Yeah. And he's a player I watch quite regularly because I have to uni work, and he's from the top 10 rated midfielders from Championship. He's the best goal production, other than goal input, other than Mateus Pereira at West Brom. And he's a player that likes to dictate the play, so he likes to drop deep for the ball. He go watch him against the other day. I think QPR, where he likes to very much like Pablo, where he use crossfield balls, gets fouled a lot. But I feel like if we were going for any midfielder from the Championship, I feel like your midfielders you gotta actually watch that Ovie Jaria, who's on loan from Liverpool, who's good with the ball, and Ebrick Chese.
Yeah.
I think them two with
QPR is
oh no. I feel like if you are going to get any Championship midfielders who play in the John Swift role or the Pablo role, you are more going to get more output from Eze or Ajaria, which they have similar.
From what I saw, I thought Swift played in the Klitsch sort of role.
He does a lot.
Yeah.
Here he's played 21 games in the centre midfield role, 4 goals, 6 assists, 7.42 average rating.
This article here says that he's got 35 games with 15 goals for them. Oh no, that's all. Might be all
Yeah,
competitions.
contributions. He's 5 goals, 10 assists.
Oh, scored or made. I thought you said scored 15. Yeah, but that's. I think Bamford had 16 contributions, and then the next was like 14. So it's up there with sort of what we've got. What we.
I think second is Harrison, isn't it? He's got like 8 assists.
Yeah, Harrison with 14. But apparently the bidding for him from Sheffield United is only 3.5 million as well.
Yeah, my feeling with Eze, for example, is if we go up, we'll be at that point where we can look at the teams that stayed in the Championship and think,
Yeah.
you're a great pick. But then again, there's some players that are just that'll be looking a bit higher than team that just went up. Maybe you could be drawn in by the Bielsa factor, which sounds like a really shit 1980s quiz show thing. But I think Eze could be a stretch.
I'm gonna say Eze. I feel like you wouldn't probably go for him because even though he's got a massive talent in that, he often for the position we need, he often don't play it. Like he's played 19 games in the centre midfield, and the majority of them, when like Elias Chair comes on as a substitute, he moves on to left wing. So we don't really need
Another winger.
I also think that they're going to want a hell of a lot of money for him as well.
Oh yeah. They want like Liverpool money for him.
Yeah.
An interesting factor in the John Swift sweepstakes before I move on is that if Sheffield United are interested, they do have Luke Freeman, who is a perennial link man to Leeds, I think. So if that transfer rumour comes up, I'm already calling it. It's a complete pile of shambles. We're not talking about it.
Okay, yeah, fair.
Do you want to go on to good, bad, ugly?
Is that all our transfers?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
So
the Bielsa Award for Good. Who are our nominees?
First nominee is Stewie Dallas.
Who put him first of all?
I put him A for scoring.
That helps. Yep.
And being, I have this thing in my head. He's one of the few players in that squad. Someone said it online, but said it, I believe, wrong. They said he's the only player that goes out and gives 100% every time. I'd say that's the wrong way of saying it. I'd say
it's controversial.
No, they said that he's the only one that gives 100% performance. I wouldn't say that. I'd say they all go out and give 100%, but he's the only one that you can sort of say he's going to have a consistent performance this week, and you know what you're getting from him. Whereas other players, you'll have great days, bad days. He always seems to just leave everything out there for me, so I put him on thing.
I feel like Asbon said it best, and it's really like not stuck with me because it's a bit weird. But like me and Asbon have had a passion for Stuart Dallas since 2015.
Since that
So,
beard.
That's because of his beard.
Yeah.
Since Nucci went, he was the only least player with a beard.
when Antonucci went, we had to click onto it all.
We had to like just what we could, any beard. Dallas was the best.
So, and it does feel like if Dallas could grab every member of this team by the fucking bollocks, and that's mine gone, and just
How many
You've had one.
I've had one.
I've not used
I
mine
didn't
yet.
even got to that bad section. Sorry, but if he could, he'd just grab every member of this team by bollocks and just absolutely just run them ragged. Like Derby last season, was it West Brom where he scored the goal from like 83 yards out? No, 83 yards out in the 83rd minute from about 30 yards out.
83
It
yards.
just feels like when a big goal, it were a screamer. You should go back and watch
Which
it.
one's that?
I feel like it was against West Brom where we drew 1-1.
No.
Anyway,
Not last season. Last season we beat them 4-0.
this season.
This season.
So
Drew one away.
that were it. My point is, it feels like he just goes out there and just goes, sod this, I'll take this into my own hands.
He's gone full Thanos. Fine, I'll do it myself. Every match.
He's got the fight. He's got the stones. and he just snaps his fingers and runs through the entire team's defence because they're all Stark. I don't feel so good.
No, it won West Brom away. West
It was a
Brom
bit-
away was the cross where it was Dallas onto a giant in the back of the net. No, Riley Oscar scored. I don't know what game you're on about, Cameron.
It's fine. It doesn't hugely matter.
I'll find it. We'll move on. I'll
Anyway,
find it.
so the next one is Harold, who said Ben White.
I just think he's just unreal. Like, there were a moment in that second half against Luton where the ball got played down line by a Luton player, and where you could tell Berardi or Cooper had come around and clattered ball into West Ham. Ben White just stood
Oh,
his
I know
man
which
up,
one
stepped
you're on
across,
about. Yeah.
picked the ball up, and then calmly just played out. It's like he's like 21, 22-year-old like footballer, never played at this level in his life.
The
It's
one on the
like-
wing where balls going out, could left it just to go out for their throwing, turned it around on line, played it to Harrison, I think.
Can't remember like that, but I just remember he stood him up, stepped across him with ball, and it's like from that we've got ball, whereas he could have just cleared it out for a throw and allowed defence and midfield to get back.
Next one is Cameron, and I reckon that Cameron's put this because of his crowdy, but Cameron's put Kemar Roof.
I did for the record. It was against Preston. That was the Dallas goal. Thinking, but Kim Roof just because with what's all happened with Sean Kevin and the kind of collapse at a backup striker we've had this year. It just made me think back to Kemar, and I just kind of missed him. I missed his
We were crying out for him against Luton.
obviously, yeah. We were just absolutely our gaffer crying out for me. I just had to go out there and put a performance on. He's also, as I come to figure out, looking up his stats for this, had quite a decent season. 13 appearances, 6 goals, 2 assists. So good on Kemar, and he's being linked with Stevie G's Rangers. So hopefully he can.
Belgium
I think
Pro League's
someone was saying from his Instagram story that it was back in England at Roundy Park.
I think he also put a tweet out before Fulham or something, kind of upping the boys to give out a good performance, and any former Leeds player that left with good heart is somebody I resonates with. So please come back to us, Kemar. I miss you.
I then put Leeds United social media team for their sheer shithouse of Scott Parker and his comments after the last game against Fulham. With us being scripted and what?
I can't remember.
That
Yeah, scripted and predictable sounds about right.
Scripted and predictable Leeds United side beating Fulham, which then riled a lot of people up on Fulham's Twitter.
But you know what? If your manager's gonna chat shit, then our social media can. That's fair.
Get banned.
So do we want to do a vote on them for? Or does anyone have any other additions? Joe?
I've not got anything to add. I'm thinking Ben White.
Callum, any additions before we do the vote?
Nope.
Nope. So Joe votes for Ben White.
Yeah.
Harry
Give it Ben
votes for
White.
Yeah, give it Ben White. There you go.
Bye.
Stuart Dallas is going to be here forever. Ben White's only got a few games left.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry.
The Jack Grealish Award.
Hey, I mean, boo. I don't know.
I thought we kind of have to do it since it's named after him. Honourable mention for Jack Grealish for being Jack Grealish.
For not being relegated yet is what I'm going to add.
Yeah, that's a good shout
Still
for
be
that one.
alive.
Then the next nominee is Joe has put Nathan Jones.
I have. Right,
I've got a reason for that as well, if you don't already mention it.
A man that clenches his own arse cheeks. Fuck's sake! Sorry, I just went 2-1 down. Does not have the right to be beating Marcelo Bielsa at football. I'm sorry, he just doesn't. I didn't hear you.
I was going to say that Nathan Jones deserves bad because of saying something to Pablo Hernandez in Spanish
yeah, that as well.
that pissed Pablo Hernandez off that much that he walked off the pitch without saying a word to anyone else, as well as therefore then pissing off Victor Otter, who was in the crowd. So I think that is deserving of bad.
It's a pretty bad thing, isn't it? Apparently, you called him a son of a bitch, but like that's according to Sir Philip of Grass. Hey, Grass, not close enough.
Who's anonymous quagger who just typed that? Is that Colin?
What?
Next one is Leeds United fans by Harry.
I'm just sick of them on Facebook. You know, I hate Facebook as it is, but I just get the. So
It's what
someone
we've
put,
already mentioned about scapegoats there, though, isn't it?
yeah. So someone put a tweet saying Leeds had 40 shots, 12 on target. Blah blah blah. There's the problem, and the guy literally quoted it saying, "There's the problem. I'll wait for the Bamford lovers' excuses." But it's like you, my friend, are just a grade A twat.
That's
Has he-
Harry's one.
has he had it?
Out of the
Hey.
way.
There we go.
Excellently done, Action. Excellently done.
There's not just Bamford. If I'd blame Bamford if he took all 40 shots
Yeah.
and we scored 1 goal, but fortunately Bamford hasn't taken all 40 shots. So, how can you? Just a bell end, innit?
Yeah, I'll agree
Yeah.
with you on that one. It's how many games are left? 6, and people just have to find problems where
Honestly,
they
you
can.
look at that thing that Calvin put on Instagram the other day, and it's like, end of the day, if you're, I don't know, some Donny Beast and who I say like can't wait for pub to reopen tomorrow, some fat twat who's just slating players, like just acting players on Twitter so they're gonna see it. Like that's not gonna do. It's not supporting your team, is it?
No.
Hmm.
Like there's a reason why you're fucking struggling to do 20 minutes at Sunday League, and these are playing in second tier of English football.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I'm struggling to do 20 minutes in Sunday League.
Harry, I'll let you follow on with the next one then. Next nominee.
This one, cause it quite hit home with me with this, with like my situation being stuck here and then back home in Leeds. Like Brendan Law put on Twitter about the fact that he don't know whether he's all right to go to Wales and see his mum for the first time since March next week. But I know I didn't watch the Cardiff game, but how is it not? You're not allowed to go to Wales to see your family member, but we are allowed to go to Wales to play a football game.
Yeah.
Like, football is not important as family. Like, the government, the Welsh government, who have said you can't come over, the English government, they're just absolutely fucking shite with priorities.
In all fairness,
And,
the
like,
Welsh government, for the most part, didn't really want sport to go ahead. But when you've got like football teams who the entire rest of their divisions go, and you can't exactly go no fuck you in particular. Like this one, I agree with you putting Boris
I'd say
Johnson,
it's more
but
of a UK government thing rather than a English government. Not an English government, a Welsh government thing. Sorry. Yeah.
I just think like football, I don't think it should be back at all,
Hmm.
especially when technically you cannot see family members yet. But yeah, you can say we're bringing football back to try and raise the morale of the country. But what if you don't like football?
yeah,
What
that's
if
a fair
your
point.
sports rugby union? Rugby union's not a sport played until winter. Well, let's be
I
honest.
thought you were about to say rugby union's not a sport then.
Isn't it?
I've got a genuine question about this Boris Johnson thing. Because Leicester are in lockdown, and it's most likely some other cities in England are going to go into lockdown. Kirklees looks like it might go into lockdown. It's one of the worst. Bradford, and they're really close to us both, so there's a good chance that Leeds might go into lockdown as well as that. What does that mean for opposing teams? Does that mean that opposing teams can't come in? Does that mean opposing teams can't come out? What does that mean?
It's this saying that they can still play games at the King Power Stadium if the other club's fine with it, and Big White Hodgson has
Big
said that
White, yeah.
he's fine to travel, he's happy to travel, but surely you should therefore move the team out of Leicester and play it at a neutral ground.
Yeah, like chuck them.
That's the only logical thing that makes sense to me.
Honestly, if people in Leicester can't, like, say, I'll lock down and add back. I don't know what the restrictions are, people in Leicester, but say they can't.
Essentially, what
same
we've
to,
been
like,
for the last few weeks, essentially, Harry.
What, so shops
Like
are
where
open or
shops are closed,
uh,
apart from essential shops
yeah.
and things like that.
But with everything reopening tomorrow, doesn't that just increase the chance that people within Leicester will then travel to out other cities to then go and enjoy what they don't have because things are in lockdown, which then increases the amount of travel, which then increases the spread of the coronavirus. All this has happened because you brought football back.
And the crime rate of Millwall will go back to a normal level.
It was on the news about the sheer number of police in Leicester enforcing these lockdown things. They said it was more police there now than there would typically be on a normal New Year's Eve night. But all of this to enforce a lockdown is a bit ridiculous.
I just think I think it's all a bit stupid, to be honest. Like, I'm not going into all conspiracy theories, but Jesus Christ, could be here all night.
To skip over that point, I
Yep.
believe it's a valid point and could win. But Cameron, you've got a couple of points now, and I've accidentally fucked up the thing.
It's fine. So my first point is Barry Douglas, and a lot of people will be sitting there and thinking, "You're just saying Barry Douglas because you want to talk about Barry Douglas." And you're damn right, I want to talk about Barry Douglas because
But imagine,
I
would think
I bet you like every single one of these kids' photos on Instagram.
I don't, because first of all, his kid doesn't have Instagram. He's far too young for it. And secondly, I don't love Barry Douglas. Barry Douglas loves Barry Douglas, and that's my problem. He's actually got 2 nominations written down from here. The first one is in a pre-game video released by Leeds United. Barry Douglas walks out of the tunnel and he's saying the following words: "Bing bang bosh, pass it, ball back of the net. Football is a simple game. Bing bang bosh, football is simple. Football is simple." This was in a game where we drew 1-1 to Luton. So football isn't that simple, is it, Basil? It's not that simple when we can't get points against bottom of the league.
You saying that really makes Barry Douglas sound like a psychopath. Bing bang bosh, bing bang bosh. Easy game.
Well, it might as well have been. It might
Ball
as well
in
have
net,
been
ball in
because
net.
we drew. Ball in the net. I want the ball in the net. But he's literally like, saying that next to Gianni Ossia, who went on to have our best performance out of any player on the night, arguably. Barry Douglas, I'd like to remind everybody, didn't make an appearance in that game. You're allowed 5 substitutions. I can't remember. No, he didn't come on. Shackleton, Baradi, Alioski, and Hernandez came on. He came on against Fulham. However, you wouldn't have thought that because he still went on to post an Instagram about it, saying another point on the board towards our goal, onto the next one, with a picture of him playing in the game. He wasn't playing in the Fulham game, yet he still feels obliged to make a post about it. You don't, Bazza, right? Sit in your corner, delete your Instagram, and I don't care about you until this is all said and done, right?
Why
Enough of the shite posting
because it's Barry Douglas and hate him that much.
Because
Leeds fans would.
No, I don't follow all the leagues. I don't even follow him on Instagram until I don't.
And guess what? He's since posted on his Instagram.
Oh fuck! Here we go.
No, a picture of his kid. So.
So you're not some.
Yes, that's some new shoes.
Is he not allowed to be proud of his kids?
Consumes Cameron and leads him to kill Barry Douglas.
He can be proud of his kid.
Cameron, what's your Fulton Park one before you kill Barry Douglas?
It's basically in the pictures that they've drawn up in CAD and released to say this is what Fulton Park might look like. There is a clear showing of a Premier League logo within the facility itself, basically being insisting that once this is built, it will be a Premier League club. Don't start doing things like that, Leeds, because when you start doing things like that, you really start messing up. So, Fulton Park for being optimistic. No Leeds fans or Leeds things should be optimistic. It should be grounded in reality.
Okay, so next week's podcast is themed around optimism.
Can I put in like a respective retroactive good of Leeds City Council for granting planning permission for Fulton Park?
Yeah, go on then.
It won't win.
But from now on, we're not doing retroactive nominations. They're banned.
I've done it like 3 times.
Yeah, I know. You keep doing it.
You can save it for next week. You could save it for next week.
Stop taking the L. Yeah, but it's not on this week's news.
That was already a
Final
film.
thing, Scott Parker for being a Grealish.
Yeah.
What the fuck were you wearing?
Cameron, I don't know what to say about what he's wearing, to be fair,
Fucking
this
hell,
week.
fine.
It would. Honest to God, how long did that take him to get ready? How long did that take him to get ready? He's not sat there before that game and like looked at the mirror and gone, "If Ben White is just to this," he's literally sat there and gone like, he's tucking it all in. He's put a little pin in his tie. He's walked down to Missy's, and going, "Oh, do I think I look good?" And then all of a sudden, Bamford stuck winning past him in 10 minutes, and his ass is around his kegs. So like, what's he got?
His
to
ass is
do?
around his
Nothing.
kegs.
Around his
Fuck.
kegs.
That's how
That's where they're meant to be.
lubed up he is.
What's his missus saying to him like, "Oh yes, Scott, you are looking
He's
like
not with
you're
his
getting
missus
3
if he's
points."
travelled to Leeds, you bang.
Well,
But
who's saying it
Sean-
then? That's the bigger concern. Has he got Mitrovic saying it to him?
His mistress.
Yes,
Ooh.
his
Mistress Fitch.
Missus the death up actually.
Mistress is just Jack Grealish in a wig.
So, who do you want to win the Jack Grealish award? Jack Grealish, Nathan Jones, Leeds fans, Bojo and the footballing body, Barry Douglas, Fullerton Park, or Scotty P?
I think we're all.
Bojo and the football.
Yeah.
Bojo.
Yep. Bojo. We could probably change it from the Grealish award to the Bojo award.
No, we'll keep it Grealish because this isn't a politics podcast yet.
Yeah.
Leading on to politics, the Katie Hopkins Ugly Prize. Woo!
So who?
The first nominee is RB Leipzig.
Oh, all of these are Cameron. Okay.
One from Harry, one from me, and I don't know who would put last one.
I put last one.
Okay.
I'll keep the first two pretty short because my third one's kind of like the big one that's been bothering me for some time.
Okay.
But RB Leipzig for just forcing us into this awful deal and for the mighty Victor to panic and go, "Yeah, we'll sign that," and basically force us into a deal for a player that's has appeared to have, was it his ankle or his knee?
Hamstring,
Probably
I think.
both. Probably. Oh, from the hip down, he's probably just made of like Weetabix you've let fester in milk for 40 minutes. Like, it's just, he always seems to have something wrong with him.
To be fair, old
£80
Weetabix.
million for a Rob Price experiment.
Old Weetabix are fairly solid, aren't they?
No.
Not yeah. If they've been milked for 40 minutes.
Well, yeah.
Let's be honest.
I'm on about like days old Weetabix that you've just not bothered to clean out yet.
Because then they start to go hard, and if they were hard, then John Kevin's legs would be usable. But they're not. They're just like they just cripple under any kind of pressure.
Grim.
I think Kev should just give up on football and play wheelchair basketballs.
Are you nominating Leipzig or Big Kev Soggy Legs?
Sorry, Kev. Well, it's their fault. They gave us to him. They knew what they were getting into.
Don't go to
Cheating
your second one,
bastards.
Cameron.
Yeah, I will because I don't want to talk about energy drink anymore. Scum because, as Joe alluded to earlier, they were not willing to pay 50 million for Jadon Sancho, who is one of the most entertaining English footballers I think I can say we've probably ever seen between us all. Like,
No. Entertaining in a bad way, I'd say Eric Dyer for missing that penalty in the World Cup. Oh no, it was Henderson missing the penalty in the World Cup.
I'd say that Grealish, Frank Lampard, he was fantastic watching him play. I love watching him play, especially for New York FC.
Oh, Lampard. You said that Grealish Lampard. I'm like, which one's you on about here?
So yeah, so apparently they're going to offer 50 million for Jadon Sancho. However, they would happily offer 80 million for a man who has a tile-shaped bonds, looking like Steve from Minecraft, and have also been linked in a 80 million pound bid, which apparently is a good as done deal for the slick back head man himself of Jack Grealish.
No.
So they're willing to spend 30 million more on a peripheral relegation, lover. He loves going up and down, does our Jack. So they're willing to spend 80 million on him, but they're only going to pay 50 million for Jadon Sancho, and I just think that's atrocious.
Speaking of Sancho, I don't know if Dortmund are preparing for him to leave.
What a goal!
They've had Bellingham confirmed.
Someone confirmed Bellingham last night.
Yeah.
16 million, is it?
I don't know if they were planning for him to leave already. Maybe.
I think they'd let him play out the season because the Bundesliga's not restarting.
Oh
yet,
yeah, let him
is
play out
it?
the season, but as in already sort of getting contingency plans for the departure, essentially.
Oh, right, okay. They don't play the same position, do they?
No.
I thought
Bellingham
you
can
were a
play
left
out wide, but he's not
mid.
as effective.
I'm fairly sure Bellingham's a cam. If I'm wrong, I'm sure Harry, the stats man, will let us know, but...
So, let's have a look. Where's prime position?
So, whilst Harry does this, do you want to talk about Dean Smith, Harry?
Yeah, so it's just that comment he made. We've had 4 games in 11 days. Thank you very much. Just shut your moaning twat. Football's football. You had a game in hand.
He's really using these
He is.
buzzwords, isn't it?
You had a game in hand, so you're gonna have to play more football than everyone else. But I just grow up, here. Just why are you blaming the amount of fixtures you had? Your team's shit.
You were
We
going...
spent 120 odd million on prime shit. Everyone was saying, "Oh, they aren't going to do a full." Just look at him like they've got John Terry's the assistant manager, just going, "Yeah. I'm John Terry. Yeah, I'll shag you out." just fuck off.
Oh, Harry.
Right. As for Bellingham, his plays all over the park. Midfield left, midfield centre, midfield right.
He's
All
had three.
midfielder forward, stacking midfield, attacking midfield left.
16 appearances at centre mid, 2 goals, 12 appearances at right mid, 1 goal, 3 assists. So it's somewhat even in terms of contribution.
Then Cameron EFL.
This just relates to Wigan,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh,
Yeah.
It's honest to God, like I'll try not to curse, but this is one of the worst things I think I've ever seen in football, ever, and that's a lot because I'm a Leeds fan, and I tend to have quite an eye on football. But the fact that look at the current Newcastle takeover that's taken well over 3 months to even have an update, let alone be confirmed or be rejected or whatever, and it's having an effect on Newcastle. And they're constantly going, we're looking over the ownership, we're making sure everything to a T is fine. For the fact that in one division down, Wigan can get signed by some Philippine gambling company, allegedly, who apparently have a massive gambling bet on Wigan to be relegated, which would pay off a lot of their personal debts and basically just take complete advantage of Wigan. The fact that EFL approved this takeover, and there's been more things in between that apparently the ownership's then been taken over by a literal individual within that company who's taken out a loan. So somehow a single man off of a loan who has no financial background proven that would be capable of owning a football club has got reins of a club that isn't like Wrexham or Dagenham and Redbridge. People know Wigan. Wigan is a big club. Wigan has
won the FA Cup
been
lately,
promoted
didn't
recently. It's won the FA Cup. It's it's not some tiny thing that people can just go, Wigan, boo hoo. Like this is insane how they can just have no regard for a club within their own division and allow.
It's not even the first time it's happened to a club that's recently fallen out of the Premier League.
Exactly.
Because the same thing happened to Bolton.
Thing is, how they've been taken over and then they've passed the fit and proper test shows you how fucked it is. You had
Oh my
Chelino-
God, Harry.
You had Chelino failed fit and proper test, yet is there something to do with like gets banned from owning a football club in England yet? So he just names it to his son. Like.
The big problem that I have with the whole Wigan thing isn't the fact that they punished them; it's the way that they punished them. It's the fact that they said, right, we're going to deduct you 12 points if you stay up this season, but if you go down, we'll just take it off you next season anyway. It's you do one or the other. It's a point deduction this season, so they know what they like certainly fighting for this year, or it's a point deduction next season, so they know what playing field they're on. You can't say we'll deduct whatever we want.
Eventually, yeah. I think. Go on.
Imagine like, oh, sorry, Cameron.
I was going to say as well, there's firm evidence that that the EFL knew there was betting gambling going on towards Wigan being relegated. Like there is physical proof of emails and videos being taken of high people within the EFL that I'm not going to name because screw them to a place worse than Beeston, but it baffles me because coincidentally 12 points would see Wigan go to the bottom of the division by 2 points. So it's just mind-boggling, and it's just unfair, and it just makes me question why do I even watch the sport when it's so fraudulently run and just has no passion or care in any of it.
It's to me it just seems like if when Leeds got deducted them 15 points, it feels like
Oh, he wasn't offside.
we'll deduct you 15 points, but then later in the season we might deduct you another 15 if we feel like it and you're not doing as well as we thought you think you are, and then but we might not. It's going to be hung over you for like the rest of the season, so we don't know whether we're actually going to take it on.
Didn't we get
It just
25
makes you think.
points?
I think we got 10 in one
Yeah,
season
and
and then 15 in the
others.
next.
It just shows to me that I think there is an absolute proof there is an agenda in football.
There's
Because
no
the fact that
consistency in it.
there's no
It-
consistency, it just depends on how big you are, how much of like. And I know it's all well and good and joking saying like, oh, Leeds get terrible rest because they only want us in division because we bring in numbers. But there is with the treatment of Bolton, Bury, and Wigan compared to a team like Newcastle who have had 3 months of scrutiny and then these 3 clubs have been, well, 2 have been essentially ruined. Bury's gone, and Bolton are playing Luke Murphy in midfield, which is a fate worse than being
Bol-
gone. So
Bolton will have essentially been relegated to League Two because of this.
before the season started, and
Because
it's just
they got relegated from the Championship because they couldn't pay the players and stuff, didn't they? Then they started this season,
With
15 points reduction.
no players as well.
Honestly, they
and
played
no
that game
players.
at under 18s.
Yeah.
Something they won or something. Now they got drawn. Everyone was saying why.
But then the fact that the EFL can say, yeah, we want the best for our clubs and block takeover deals like they did with Bury, when they had a buyer in place, they had someone saying, I will inject this cash. They passed the fit and proper test, but then the EFL go, we don't accept him as a new owner.
if the people that came in to buy Wigan try and buy Leeds, Forest, Derby, any Sheffield Wednesday, sorry, any big team in this division, this doesn't happen. But because it's Wigan, it's ruined the football club, and it's beyond the joke.
I think my main issue with the Wigan point is there's a clause that covers like force majeure, so like unforeseeable circumstances, and if you go bankrupt under circumstances that you couldn't have really seen coming. The fact that apparently coronavirus didn't qualify for that, what does?
World War III.
Well,
There's been an event that blows up
Nuclear
Wigan.
war.
I think that their whole
nuclear
thing
bomb.
would be regarding that, saying you've struggled as a club, but there's no other club that we've seen like this. However, they've now come to the news has come out yesterday or today saying 15 clubs could follow Wigan into going into administration. That's bad from the fact that
I suppose it
Because-
could make next season more interesting if everyone's starting with minus 12 points. But how many teams are you going to relegate? Like,
but
let's be
it's the
honest.
fact that the EFL said, "Oh yeah, it's fine. We'll fund clubs with £50 million. £50 million across 72 teams isn't going to go far at all.
How
72 is it? Or 92?
72. They don't have to do the prem.
72. Yeah.
how quickly as well do we know that Wigan were going to get 12 points deducted? Like it felt like within an hour that the news broke they were going to go into administration.
I think it's.
Yeah.
I think the administration point just hits a thing.
He's
hits
offside.
a sort of threshold where it's like they've gone into administration. This is the typical punishment for that.
Yeah. But we're still waiting for Sheffield Wednesday and Derby to be punished. But
Yeah.
what can you do? What can you do?
That's again going back to what we were on about within the consistency thing, because you can't have one rule for one team and a rule for a separate team.
I'd love
agenda-based.
to see Wigan get saved by Gary Monk going down. That's
I'd love to see Wigan get saved by selling the stadium and
Ooh.
using the money from that.
I'd love to see Qatar take over Wigan instead of us, and then they'll win the Champions League in 3 years.
No, but I want to win the Champions League in 3 years.
We'll win it in 4. It's fine.
will win it the season after Wigan.
Yeah.
Oh, Pierre, what are you doing?
Yeah, so that's a bit of a crap situation for the league as a whole, and it's really not. It's not good to see.
No. Who?
I then put it's a completely separate point, completely sort of a nothing point to what we've just said. But I then said LFC Lewis for being an overconfident, arrogant little
Grealish.
Grealish. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a point of the season where you can sort of say, right, yeah, we're so good, this and that. But the fact that you've got 6 games left, the teams behind us are on, well, one of the teams behind us is on such good form, you can't then just go, yeah, we're so good, we're going to walk this league. And it's like for sure, but I hate him.
He feels bandwagon. He feels like he doesn't know anything about Leeds. Like he's just come in for these 2 seasons and gone, oh my god, we're class. Like we're either gonna finish 3rd or like 1st. This is amazing. Like beat Fulham and we're up. That's how it works with Leeds.
I have a lad that I work with who said that he sat behind him once, and the way that he films the matches is he has a GoPro on his chest, on a chest mount.
So
He also does the nanas in match on together.
But they're like, oh. If you go to a football match, you go to watch the football match.
Yeah, I understand if you like my dad takes photos for Wacko, who then distributes it around the world. So he's got permission from Angus to take photos. But recording a game.
Dodgy Films got banned for that.
Rest in peace, the boy.
He's just
Like I can people can have their opinions on how they think they're gonna do. Are we gonna do this season? But I just think of it. If you're saying, "Oh, we should be beating Luton, we should be beating Charlton," I just find it very disrespectful to like Charlton and Luton, because at the end of the day, they are championship teams. They
they're
are
here
in
for
this
a reason.
division for a reason.
Oh, I didn't see that message ages ago. Hello, Gamer Kid 7. I've been playing, so I've not been able to look at chat.
Like, you can say that we are better than a team, but if we can't beat them on the day, it means no. We all know what league we're in. We're in the Championship. It's one of the most competitive leagues in the world, would you say?
I'd say so.
For the level. So it's not like we say this every single week. No game is an easy game. Every we said it earlier in the podcast. Even every team is fighting for something.
Yeah.
So to then just go out and say, yeah, this game we're going to win. This game we're going to win. This game we're going to win. Just do
And
one.
before any football's played at the start of the season, I always look at it. Even though Luton have just come up, every team has an equal chance of winning getting promoted, because
Other than Bolton,
there's
if we minus 12 points.
well, yeah, there's 24 teams, and they'll have to play 46 games. Who knows what happens in them 46 games? You might go, oh yeah, Fulham look like they're going to go up with the team they've got, but they're in 4th or 3rd. I don't know.
I think they're 5th now.
Fifth,
Yeah.
Well, personally, we're going on to Fulham. I think this could be another nomination, because I think let me get my evidence. Like with Scott Parker, I feel like he's very fortunate to be in a job. So look to you, after we played Fulham, they were 7 points off off the automatics and 10 points off us. And I always say, don't look at what other teams are doing, but at a similar point last season, Darren Moore was sacked as West Brom coach, and you could say that West Brom last season, Fulham this season, are very similar positions with the talent of the squad. And Darren Moore led West Brom to 4th, 9 points off automatic promotion places. So
yeah, but Scott Parker knows the club.
I just feel like it's very.
And he dresses nice. He does dress nice.
What did you say at the start of the season? I've been at this club 10 years. I know the players and stuff. You don't matter if you know the players. Can you get the best out of the players?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Right, so.
You've got Anthony Knockout, who I know that Cameron's going to say, no, he shouldn't. But he should be playing at a better level than 4th in the Championship.
To be honest, personally, I don't think he does. like I've watched him with watching Tom Kenny, and he doesn't. I don't think there's all there. Compared to your Ivan Cavalleros, I feel like
Oh yeah, but as in,
Knockout's a completely different.
the sheer number of players
level
that
below.
should be fighting for automatic promotion rather
Oh,
than
yeah.
fighting for the best draw in the playoffs is poor for them.
Yeah.
Like Mitrovic, how many years has he been a Premier League player?
Not
A
far.
few.
Pretty far.
He should be up there. Was he at Newcastle? What am I thinking? Or am I
He was, yeah.
Newcastle from Anderlecht.
Yeah. But he's better than Fulham, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that is a good spot to vote on our ugly award. I'm personally leaning towards the EFL.
EFL.
The EFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it.
Not even really in doubt, is it?
No.
Okay. And at that is basically the podcast sorted. I'm just going to ask one quick question. How are we feeling before Blackburn? How do we think we'll do?
Can we skip this bit?
No.
I'm going to go out on a very bold limb and say losing the promotion helps over. Suck on that one, AFC Lewis.
Oh, okay.
No, in fact, what I'll do is I'll find the match after that as well, because we won't record till after that. So it's Blackburn and Stoke. I think draw and a win.
Blackburn, Stoke. I'll go. Do you know what? I'll go beat Blackburn, and then I'm gonna go lose to Stoke. It's the most Leeds thing ever.
Yeah, I think it could be that. Given our recent given what we've been this season, where we've lost points to the teams that we should be beating on paper. I say on paper like that matters, but I think Cameron's right with that. We're going to drop points to Stoke and beat Blackburn.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Harry, thoughts?
I just think we just need to do players' game. Players' game, not focus on anyone else. And we'll get what we deserve at the end of the day.
Plus, Tony Mowbray likes Bielsa, so we're going to win.
Yeah, he's just going to give us it. And finally, Callum, have you given your thoughts?
I think we're going to win because they have lost 2 games.
There's 2 matches.
We're going to win both. 6 points, Callum's feeling.
That'll do. Fair enough, I'll take it. At that,
I'll take
gonna...
6 points at this point.
No, I meant because Blackburn have lost 2 games.
No, but there's 2.
Yeah, no,
we're talking Blackburn and Stoke.
Yeah.
Oh, I was on down for the Stoke part.
Oh, wow, okay.
They also have lost 2 games, so we should win that as well.
That's fair.
6 points for winning the Champions League. That's what Callum's thinking.
Easy peasy.
6 points. We'll be back in the FA Cup and qualify for the Europa League next year.
That won't World Cup by then.
Right, I am going to leave that there then. We're feeling roughly positive going into this one if we ignore certain people in the Discord. Thank you to those that showed up and had a listen. And we'll see you next week. Toodaloo. Say bye, everyone.
See you then.
Adios.
Grazie ragazzi.
Forza Ferrari. Spinelli.
Adios, Lewis drinks Capris.